I'm Civilian on base. This is my automated sorting system for Pokemon Go. As you can see over here, I have my phone screen mirrored. It's a program called SCRCPY. I call it Scrappy, but basically it uses a protocol in Android to mirror your phone screen without any extra tools besides the Android Development Bridge, which is a thing built for Android development. So I'll be using a legitimate real phone, and so you can see my mouse cursor. It allows me to interact with my phone with my mouse. This is using third-party applications like IV scanners, macros, and I guess keyboards, I guess count as third-party, but that's kind of weird to think about. Any interaction with Pokemon Go through third-party applications is breaking the terms of service of Pokemon Go. So IV scanners, macros, heck, even me interacting with it through SCRCPY technically breaks the terms of service of Pokemon Go. And Niantic can ban or suspend your account for using this method. I'm just putting that out there so that if it does happen, I doubt it will, but if it does happen, not my fault. So the first thing you'll need to get is an IV scanner. I use Calc Iv, and the reason I use it is because it's heavily customizable, and that's the most important thing. That and the ability for your IV scanner to be able to generate custom naming conventions for different things. And I'll show you that in a minute. The next thing you'll need is this keyboard application called Keyboard. This just allows you to make custom keys on a keyboard that do macro functions like this one right here, which is the one that you'll need. Link to everything will be in the description. I'll even have a link to all of my Pokemon Go macros for this keyboard if you want to end up using this keyboard for more than just this. But this one is the most important because it takes what's on your clipboard, it deletes everything that's in a text field, and then pastes whatever's on your clipboard. And this is important for getting rid of old nicknames and old naming conventions for a new one that will be uniformal across your entire account. But yeah, this one basically allows you to do that. It's really cool. And it's fairly customizable, do some things. The last but most important is Macro Droid allows you to record macros on your phone while you're using it out and about, and it will replay those. And you can set how many times you want it to replay, or if you want it to go forever. I will say there are some things you need to watch out for, as this one doesn't care about anything. It will just keep going with the macro regardless of what's happening on screen. So use caution when using it. Some of the other things that are important, I use this application, and basically what this allows you to do is find unique characters that are technically on your phone but aren't accessible normally through your keyboard. So you can get special characters like this weird symbol, or the communist symbol, or a recycling symbol with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of them. Not all of them show up in Pokemon Go, so you'll have to test. But this allows you to get cool symbols, and that will be important later. That's a recommended one. You don't have to get that one. You can do it a different way. And the final thing is you need to keep your phone cool while doing this, because you'll most likely drain a lot of batteries, so you'll want to plug in your phone, which will generate a lot of heat. Running Pokemon Go, an IV scanner that's watching your screen, and a macro that's constantly doing stuff, it will heat up your phone. So use a fan or something. I'd stick away from trying to use a ice pack, just because that can generate liquid inside of your phone through condensation and such. So I would avoid trying not to do that, but you can at your own risk. I just use a modified desk fan or PC fan that runs off USB now to be able to blow air across my phone screen, which is where the most of the heat out of your phone is going to come from. So the first step is to set up Calc Iv. When you first open it up, and no, I'm not going to show how to do this with any other IV scanners or anything. Also, this is Android only because I don't have an iOS device. Unless you want to send me one, then I can try and figure it out. And yes, it will play ads and such. To support it, you can pay to remove those things. When you first open it up, it will ask you for your team and your level. This is important because it uses that in its calculations. What you want to look for is settings, and then boxes and renaming. So in here is all the formatting stuff. So in here is where I've told it to do certain things. Defender, perfect. So like you can tell it, this is the symbol I use for perfect IV Pokemon. The most important one in my opinion is the appraise symbol. And I use this check that I got from that other app and just set up that kind of stuff. I'd go through here, but there's a lot to go over in that. And once you have that set up, you can come over here to boxes and renaming. So this is where you're going to spend most of your time. Each one of these is a different trigger that the app will automatically trigger when scanning Pokemon. So the default one is appraised, which will be that check mark that I showed you. It's IV average, attack IV, defense, stamina IVs, and it displays them like this. And I've set it to do these black circles with numbers. And it has a lot of different options of things you can do. You can do however you want. If you see one that says default and then moves right here, that means if the IV scanner picks up the Pokemon's moves and can read them, this is the naming convention. It's the same as no moves. For me, that's not important. Shiny, it cannot tell if your Pokemon's shiny, unfortunately. So I have to manually trigger that one if I want to. But it can tell if they're lucky, if they're legendary, if they're good for PvP, perfect IVs, shadow Pokemon, 90% or better. There's a lot of things that this app can pick up. And as you can see, I have a different naming convention for PvP, IV Pokemon, and a different naming convention for perfects. Shadow Pokemon just get named Shadow, and then perfect 90 plus IVs just have the IVs without the check mark. So that way, all my Pokemon get sorted into these categories, and anything that doesn't gets this check mark, and I know that it's not good for PvP, it's not 90 IVs, not legendary, not lucky, not 100%, and not shadow. So it automatically sorts out the good Pokemon, including PvP Pokemon, and the bad Pokemon. So once you have that all set up, that's where you take most of your time, set that up. You can switch to game, which will automatically pull up Pokemon Go, but I'm going to show you this. In keyboard, you need to create this one. It's very important because it speeds up the process of pasting in your new nickname for that Pokemon, which is very important for creating the automatic sorting system. So let me... what's that? Okay, so this is what my version of keyboard looks like, and I have the paste function right up here. It just pastes whatever's in the clipboard history. As you can see, there's a decent amount of Pokemon in here that have not been sorted or IV checked at all. And then I have some down here that have, and they have like the check mark. That means they're not good. This one has that, meaning it's perfect IV. Legendaries have their IVs checked. 90 IVs don't have that check mark. So it literally made it so that I don't have to actually go through all these Pokemon in here that are probably not good and check them all on my alt account that I don't want to spend too much time on because it's just there to level up and be able to have an extra phone, log in, and do a raid with. Okay. So the last one is this app, Clickmate. Follow its initial setup. I recommend doing the tutorial. The manual target mode is great for doing gyms, for like attacking gyms. If you don't actually want to sit there and do it, it will just tap the same spot over and over again, and you can get it set just right to click the next battle button and your charge attack So then you can just kind of set your phone aside and do some work. But we're going to use record mode here. So we're going to click on that and you get this little control box. I usually move it up here into the corner. So we'll go back into the game here. And then this is what I do. So I just have it sorted to most recent catch up here. And I start from the bottom. It has less chance of messing up things that have already been sorted. So we're going to start here with this Rayquaza. So this is what you do. You click the record button. Now you want to go slow because the macro has to record what you're doing. So don't go too fast. Then once that pops up, click that paste button. It replaces everything. Click OK. OK. Swipe over to the next Pokemon. Then click stop or tap stop. So now you want to make sure that that macro works for just a random Pokemon. So hit play. It will replay what you did once. So got my hands up here. You can see my mouse cursor on screen. I'm not touching anything. It's just going on its own. It's renaming that Munchlax. It's not 90 IVs or greater or good for PvP. So it names that and it moves on to the next Pokemon and stops. So what we need to do to make it loop infinitely, now that we've confirmed it works, is we need to go into the settings. This is where things can get a little tricky with this app. It likes to show non-family friendly ads. I'm going to cut it out just in case. Just because it sometimes shows things and it's really annoying, but there's no real good alternative and there's no way to just pay for the app once. They only do subscriptions and I'm not about that life. Okay, so we made it into the app and you got all these options up here and you want to go to repeat count. If you want your macro to loop forever, enter in 0 and hit set. And so now it will loop forever. And then what you can do is you can click save as, and I've already got the maximum amount of macros saved for a free account, which is 2. But then you can save, so then you never have to set that up again. You can just load it back in and it will just go through. So I'm going to load mine. Okay, and mine is all loaded up here. So now we'll swipe over and go back to the app here. And now we can hit play, and it should rename this Dratini to Shadow, because it can tell that it is a Shadow Pokemon. Again, my hands are up here. Renamed it to Shadow. Swipes over to Rayquaza, goes through, checks its IVs, gets a for sure stat just to double check things. Goes in, renames your Rayquaza, hits OK, OK, swipes over to the next Pokemon, which is a Lucky Alolan Sandslash, which it's going to rename for Ultra League, because it's good for Ultra League. Nope. It renamed it because it's a lucky Pokemon. That's first on the list. Here's a perfect Rampardos. So it's going to rename it with that symbol and Rampardos at the end. Hopefully. There we go. So this can keep running forever until it gets to the very top of the list. And it will just go through and give you that ability. And the reason I suggest making a symbol that shows anything that's been checked is because then you can go into here, and if you input that symbol, it will just pull up every Pokemon that has been checked and found not good. For some reason, a legendary got thrown in there. So I'm just gonna take all that out. There we go. So these are Pokemon that are either not good, didn't make the cut, and so then you can decide what to do from it from here. But that's how you set it up, is you just need to take some time, really configure it. Something you can do, you can add me on, you can follow me on Twitter. Links to that will be in the description. Twitter, you can follow me on Twitch, or If we're in a Discord together, or message me, or on my Twitch. There will be a link to my personal Discord for my Twitch channel if you want to message me and get some more descriptions on how things work. This has just been a quick overview. Thanks for watching.